Nonsense, you know him. The arm-swinging, reality-bending, fourth-wall breaking weirdo we know and love. But what do we really know about him? Here's 10 things about Versus Nonsense version 2. And hey, if you like these videos and want to see more, be sure to hit that sub button to be the first to see them. Alright, let's get into it. Versus Nonsense version 2, also known as a Nonsensical Friday Night, is the final send-off for the Versus Nonsense mod. After nearly 2 years of production since the demo dropped, the mod has come to fruition. But strangely enough, Nonsense Humor himself actually left the dev team during production. According to the description of the Nonsensical Friday Night release trailer, this was due to a desire to distance himself from only being a Funkin creator, and to focus on his YouTube channel. There's no animosity towards Funkin, just a shift in creative desire. Still, himself and the dev team put their all into this send-off, so let's get into it. The original week of Versus Nonsense has been completely redone, with new sprites, songs, and joke-filled cutscenes. In addition to this, the full original week is still available through the story mode menu, referred to as Nonsense on PS4, while the new week is Nonsense on PS5. This time around, the player's accuracy not only affects mid-song events, but also the ending of the full week and what songs are played along the way. Based on the player's accuracy during the first 2 songs, as seen in this chart I made to wrap my head around the idea, the players can end up with one of 4 endings to the main week, meaning this week alone has 9 playable tracks. Kinda looks like the Shadow the Hedgehog story map to me. We'll get to the endings eventually, but first let's talk about the journey there. Uncommon is the new version of Common Sense, and establishes the same root problem of the main week as the original. Boyfriend and girlfriend have broken and entered, and Nonsense wants them gone. Playing with high accuracy will take the player through the route of remixes of tracks of the previous version, highlighted, context-sensitive, and new sense. But purposefully playing bad treats the player to new and strange compositions. The threshold of determining good and bad is 69% accuracy, but there's no need to strain your eyes by looking at the bottom to see how well you're doing, because Girlfriend will actually change idle animations based on how well or poorly the player's doing. It does feel kind of weird playing badly on purpose, but you can't fully experience this mod without missing a few notes. The song Random has a cameo appearance from Superdog Tyler, a Funkin and Roblox YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers, who was probably as much a surprise to us as it was to Nonsense that he showed up. The next additional song found by playing poorly is Logical, a pirate-themed song that features new costumes for everyone on the track. It came about due to musician Crystal Slime accidentally giving Nonsense a pirated version of the song. The motif of the track is very reminiscent of high-paced sea shanties, and partway through, Girlfriend will give the peace sign and vanish, in reference to this well-known gif. Playing with high accuracy all the way through lands the player in the Nonsensical ending, a familiar ending to fans of the original mod, as this is the remaster of Nonsensical. Nonsense, now fed up with Boyfriend, powers up to finish him off once for all in this climactic finale. The original version of the song was a joke, as Boyfriend would only have to hit or miss the single note in the song to get either ending. But this time around, the player has to work for it, as the song now has not only a fast-paced charting for Boyfriend, but health drain on Nonsense notes in tandem with notes that freeze the ability to regain health. With all that said, this isn't actually the hardest track of the week. Playing poorly all the way through will have the player reach the simple ending, a song that starts with a seemingly easy rendition of a lullaby before becoming anything but. This song is impossible to beat. Even when mashing through the crazy fast notes, the player will be defeated during the final held notes. Even hitting retry on the game over screen will send the player back to the menu, making this the canon bad ending. Doing poorly and then doing well leads the player to the Your Mom ending. This song was actually teased in the description of the Nonsense version 2 demo in the list of inclusions to the mod. Despite Your Mom being crossed out, it still made it in the form of this song. Your Mom ends with the entire screen being covered up with pop-up windows, suffocating the view and ending the week. Getting good accuracy, then bad accuracy, leads to the Rethink ending, a song that initially takes place in Nonsense's room, but then in a shattered, ethereal place surrounded by static. The fact that Girlfriend joins in on the singing, and that this isn't an overly difficult finale to the week, makes this ending my personal favorite. Finishing the Rethink ending of story mode unlocks the week Prologue. Prologue is just that, the short and sweet events that occur directly before the main week. The single song in the week is called Sunny Day, one of the few tracks solely composed by Nonsense Humor himself. I don't know if this is a nod to the fact that every Nonsense song composed before the version 2 main week was made by Nonsense Humor, but if it is, that's pretty clever. Completing any of the main story routes unlocks an additional story mode week, Nonsenseica. As explained by the unlocked cutscene, Nonsenseica is just girl nonsense. Unlike the main week, the player's accuracy doesn't affect the events or songs that happen during this week. Nonsenseica has the same color scheme and outfit as Nonsense, but bops back and forth as opposed to swinging her arms front to back. Nonsenseica appears to exist in the same universe as Nonsense, as seen by the Better Call Sense ads on the passing truck in the background of her new stage, and in the team-up song 2 Cents, featuring both of them singing together. A funny thing to note about 2 Cents is that it appears the duo has broken through yet another wall in Nonsense's room. After completing the main story, the player is given access to a number of free play songs that were previously hidden. Sense Goodman is a track that puts Nonsense in the role of Breaking Bad lawyer Saul Goodman. The stage of the song is the iconic office of Saul Goodman, placing boyfriend and girlfriend in the roles of Walter White and Jesse Pinkman respectively. This is the exact song where you see boyfriend become Heisenberg. The person standing in the back is called Zach Ehrmantraut in the files, so they must be playing the role of Mike. His name tag saying Finger is a reference to the Kid Named Finger meme. This track was heavily foreshadowed with the Better Call Sense commercial, the ad in Nonsenseica's Week, and of course the hidden Mike Ehrmantraut sprinkled throughout. There's another free play track featuring Nonsense But Real, the stage being PNGs of things actually in his room. Wacky is another free play track with a crossover with Versus Nonsense and Versus Rascals, featuring Gorbo. Since this is a cover of Wacky from Rascals, the notes disappearing for a trust test is a reference to the same mechanic in their respective mod. The song ends with a tongue-in-cheek apology to fans of Versus Nonsense who are concerned about the inconsistency of Nonsense's voice. Wacky both begins and ends with a tip to type 64 in the free play menu for a surprise. Doing so brings the player to Old Funk, a song that takes place 50 years into the future against a 64-year-old Nonsense. He's clearly moved up in the world, wearing a suit and tie and working out of a high-rise office. Nonsense's singing during Old Funk is strained to say the least, and also the final moments of his life, as partway through he dies of a heart attack and cannot hit his notes. The Dev song is just that, a track featuring many of the faces who worked on this mod. Stickman from Jay-Z Boys vs. Stickman series is working the boom mic in the background, likely due to Coder Tei working on both this mod and Stickman vs. Friday Night Funkin. The opponents in order are Canadian Goose, Mad Bear, Crystal Slime, Joey Animations, and Huge Nate. When Mad Bear replaces Goose by attacking him, he's laying on the ground in the iconic Family Guy pose. The free health note gives free health at first, but then opens up the game banana page for Taco Bell Tuesday, a mod created by Huge Nate. This song isn't the first time we've seen Canadian Goose or Joey Animations, as both have plush dolls of themselves hidden in nearly every stage of the mod. The main menu of the game includes a large variety of characters possible to appear. Numerous versions of Nonsense, as well as the devs, have potential to show up. There's still menu characters within the game files that go unused by request of the person depicted in them. Speaking of unused content in the game files, a number of Nonsense's would-be looks for scrapped covers can be seen. These covers would have been Monochrome, Versus Sunday and Versus Doxy, Garcello, and Versus Psychic. The final song in the mod, Repost, is unlocked by repeatedly hitting the YouTube button on the main menu. This song takes place in a YouTube video created by Nonsense Humor, where he shows the viewer how to defeat Boyfriend. The appearance of Nonsense in this song is spot on to how he depicts himself in his videos, and the animation follows suit too. There is another thing that makes this track special, as looking in the recommended videos, you can see one by yours truly, Darknebolian, featured there. This likely isn't an intentional Easter egg, as the screenshot was taken from a not logged in YouTube page, and 10 Things About Nonsense was still pretty relevant 2 months after release, so the likelihood of it showing up in recommendations was pretty high. Regardless of that, we can determine that since this video is 2 months old, then this screenshot was taken in December of 2021, around the release of a Nonsensical Friday Night's demo. And that's 10 things about Nonsense version 2 I hope you enjoyed. As far as final send-offs goes, this one was pretty good. Be sure to give Nonsense some love in his future endeavors, and especially thank you to the Versus Nonsense team, since none of this would have been possible without him. Alright, thanks for watching. Until next time.